Now, our guest today is without doubt an undisputed icon, having ruled the charts with his own brand of punk pop rock in the 1980s. Hits like Prince Charming and Stand and Deliver, I shouldn't sing them, caught the imagination of the masses and no doubt certainly influenced many a wardrobe worldwide. Have a look. Let's welcome Adam. Wow, what's it like seeing all that back? That was fantastic. Just so iconic, that.
I get asked to do the eye movement quite a lot, you know, that thing, which I can't do now.
What thing?
You know, there's
can't do
the
it.
eye thing, yeah.
I know what you mean. I was such a fan of it. I mean, I'm going to really depress everyone, but I was only 8. but I was absolutely obsessed. I can't believe you sat there. It's like going back in time.
No, I'm really thrilled too. I'm very excited to be here.
Do you know what? Some bands from that era are a little bit embarrassed about what they were wearing, Spandau Ballet. Duran. Are you?
Thompson Twins. Anyway,
No, not really.
Because
No,
you still, I think, still look cool.
I don't really. I don't really care what people think as long as they don't sort of do anything about it. You know, they can look, but just don't touch. You know, that's the way I want to wear it. I wear it, and I'll stand up for that. You know?
It was absolutely massive in that area because those are the days when you actually had to sell some records to get to #1, didn't you? Yeah. You were now you have to sell about 40, don't you? But then you
didn't have to be in a talent show.
Yeah, but millions and millions of records. You were massive. And what were those days like?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's still 60,000 a day to get to in the top
60,000
5.
a day?
Yeah, it was loads. Honestly, it was
60,000 a day, and I don't know. I probably. You know, it's just unreal now. It's just completely different now, but that's the way of the world. But I probably played to probably about 150,000 people before I went on Top of the Pops. Wow. So a lot of people had seen it, but it was underground, you know. But then
Do you look back on those days fondly, Adam? Did you... It was probably so mad. Did you actually have time to enjoy it when it was all happening?
In all honesty...
You was well fit.
In all honesty...
You was well fit.
No, in all honesty, I wish, you know, you could always live it again, but I'm from a kind of working background. My dad was a chauffeur, my mum was a cleaner, you know. So, having done all them gigs before getting on Top of the Pops, when it happened, I thought, I've got to just work all the time. So I really didn't see anything. When we went to Japan, for instance, I literally saw nothing. I had half an hour off to see the Kabuki Theatre, and I bought a pair of shoes and a jacket. The band were all right. They were off, you know, playing, you know, messing about, but now I just sort of learned to say, no, I'm not doing that, and that's not right for me. And I didn't have that prerogative.
But you said yes to this huge tour that you're on, which is you're in at the moment.
Well, I'm setting that up. You know, I own the record company and the production company, so I want to do them shows, and I know how much I'm getting paid, and I know how long I'm playing for, and exactly what's going on, and that's more responsibility. But when the buck stops with you, there's, you know, it's kind of good. But I've been doing it a long time. I'm ready to do it.
It's a great name as well. Adam and the good, the mad, and the lovely posse UK tours.
Are you still do all the old stuff, though, don't you?
Yeah, I mean,
you've got a load of new stuff as well.
I've got a new album coming out, but I like to, you know, I'm putting on this sort of show. I'd like to see if I went to see, say, Roxy Music or someone from, you know, my sort of childhood growing up. So I do all the hits, I do some rare stuff, the early stuff, and well, I'm just rehearsing 2 or 3 songs off the new album.
Are you working with an all-girl group?
No, there's 3 girls in the band, and 2 of them, Twinkle and Georgie, they've got their own bands. It's Twinkle, Twinkle and Georgie and her Poussey posse. Georgie girl and her Poussey posse. And there's 3 girls... There's 3... Push posse. Get it right, Push. And there's 3 girls called Dressing for Pleasure. And they're my twin nieces, Alexis and Naomi, and they have a drummer, Jessica, from Liverpool. So they're all girls, they all write, and I just sort of help them get the songs recorded.
It's amazing, don't you think it's gone... The record companies, in a way, have gone... it's probably anti-talent shows. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but people like you are just doing it themselves. They've got their own record companies. Yep. So many big artists are doing that now because they don't want to be in control. Yeah, well, and that's what it was about.
Well, I signed a contract in 1980 that I've lived to, you know, regret. Because it was as thick as a telephone directory, and there was one line in it which literally said, if you don't show this to a lawyer within 14 days, it's illegal. Now, we didn't have a drum kit, let alone a lawyer, and it's geared up. You're totally geared up to just sign your life away. So But, you know, you takes your choice, but it really is, there's something should be done about, you know, young kids walking into those kind of situations and signing unseen. Because if you're arrested for a fight and you're in a prison the next day, you get up, you've got a lawyer sitting there who you don't know, and he advises you, says, you know, you don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
But with that, there is nothing at all, and I've had to buy my way out of that contract, and it's taken a long time over the years, but there you go.
But it's so much more positive now because you're doing your own thing and on this tour.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where did you get your name from originally? Or were you christened Adamant?
No, I was christened Stuart Leslie Goddard. And Stuart and the Ants didn't sound very good. But Adam was like the first man, and I'd been doing a lot of groundsman work. I was a groundsman on a tennis court, and I used to do a lot of demolition. So I wasn't shaped like David Bowie or Alice Cooper, like really slender. Yeah. I was a bit like that. And so the Adam was the first man, and Ant was just purely, you know, Beatles, you know, ants. So. And also,
I see. All right, OK.
And after a nuclear explosion, ants you can't kill an ant. So that was
That's a good name.
So you've got a big gig coming up in London?
Yeah, I'm playing a place called the Choxy Theatre on the 20th of November, which is a very beautiful old theatre. And I like playing old theatres. There's...
Why?
Because I just think there's, you know, it's kind of getting knocked down. You know, these beautiful... There's a place called the Wilton Hall music hall down in Shoreditch. I'm doing a benefit for that shortly after, and that's the oldest music hall in the world.
Really?
Is it?
It's like the Wild West, and they've lost their lottery money, so we're doing it to try and raise money to put a roof on it. Because if you don't put a roof on it, it'll fall down, and then they'll knock it down.
Oh, brilliant. So now we're going to be talking a little bit later about dressing to impress your man. I'd be interested to hear what you've got to say, Adam. So please do stay with us. So make sure you stay. I'm delighted to say that we're still joined by Adam Ant. And want to know a little bit more about your new album as well, which has got an almightily long title.
Yeah, it's Adamant is the blue black hussar in Marrying the Gunner's Daughter. Won't forget it.
So what does this mean?
Well, Adamant's me. The blue black hussar is the character that I have now. It's almost like the guy with the stripe. What would he be like 35 years later?
Oh, OK, right.
So he's kind of a bit more, you know, wised up and stuff. And then Marrying the Gunner's Daughter is a naval term for being put over a cannon and whipped as a punishment. So that was a metaphor for, I don't know, signing with certain record labels. So, so that was that. But it's a bit like a film. And the Good, the Mad and Lovely Posse is a bit like, you know, the six girls come off.
So have you got lots of stories in the songs, then, that you've produced this album?
I mean, there's a lot to talk about. You know, I've been away for 15 years, and I've always written about things that interest me. But these are dealing with, you know, quite serious situations I've been through, and just really, it's a very personal record. And I'm going to do a sort of, I'm doing old-fashioned vinyl gatefold sleeve. Yeah. Very beautiful album cover by a lady artist called Mary Jane Ansell, who's done this beautiful painting called Girl in a Cocked Hat, and it's kind of this girl in a Nelson hat, and I bought it. And she's won the BP Portrait Award twice, so it's nice to have a new British artist. And the photography's wonderful. There's a guy called Barry Latigan who did discovered Twiggy, actually. And he's done some shots. So it's quite there's a lot, and all the lyrics will be on it. I really like the idea of...
I like that. I've missed that in our band.
So when you get to our age, you can't read them off a CD.
No, I know.
Well, I'm older than all of you lot, so
not that much.
You seem really well, though, at the moment. I was saying earlier that you and I have talked about our own battles with mental health before, and I think that you're very keen for that message to be... You're very vocal about it, and I was just reading... What's the Black Dog campaign that you're... Because I know that's what Winston Churchill calls his depression, didn't he?
Yeah, it's by the SANE organisation, S-A-N-E, and I was approached recently. They're doing this very nice, beautiful campaign. They're building these beautiful ceramic dogs, about as big a black dog, and they're getting various, you know, people in the public eye to design a coat for them. You know, and designs, and I'm doing one. I think Joanna Lumley's doing one. But it really is more of a tactile thing. And I remember they put those cows all around London. So it's a similar kind of approach. And the idea is to have it as a Black Dog Day, not have it as depression or manic depression or bipolar disorder, which are just terminologies.
That's
right. And I think what you were saying earlier about stress, I totally mirror that. I think, certainly in my case, overwork and not could be go to your GP and say, look, you know, this is how I feel, and the GPs don't have the time to monitor it.
Yeah,
so it's a very it's a very child-friendly thing, and I think the tactile quality of it will be quite.
You were saying about we were talking about wake-up calls. Have you had particular wake-up calls that have changed things for you?
Yeah, I think the main one was during the last tour I did, the wonderful tour in 1995. I was on tour and I didn't realise it. I just kept feeling really terrible. I played in Mexico and someone put an ice cube in my drink and I got acute mononucleosis, which is acute glandular fever. But I did another 4 weeks tour
from the water in the ice cube?
In the ice cube, see. And I got to New York and the wake-up call was, I remember saying, well, you're not going anywhere, I'm quarantining you because you've got acute mononucleosis, which is glandular fever, which I think put Barbara Windsor out of action for a long time. And that wake-up call was, I was on stage one night and I swear to God, I was standing there and it was almost like I was watching someone else perform.
An out-of-body experience.
Yeah. But no one was saying stop, and in the end it actually took a doctor in New York City to say, no, you're not doing the gig tonight. And I said, you're joking. No, you're not doing the gig tonight. I'm not letting you do it. And you're staying here because you're contagious. You're not going anywhere. And that was a wake-up call. That was a real... And that's the first time I actually heard the term bipolar.
Really?
Because that does have a symptom at the end, obviously, because you're totally out of action.
Yeah.
You go nuts a little bit. You go kind of, you know, you can't work.
Yeah.
If you can't work, you're kind of persona non gratis. So that was the first time.
Has it been things more like that than the big age? You know, we were saying earlier, weren't we? I mean, people get, oh, it's the big 4-0, I'm going to do this big 5-0. Do you think it...
age comes into it, I think, with what kind of music you're into. I mean, you either... If you last past the sort of first, you know, bout of pop or rock and roll, whatever, and you can, I think, play live and you're responsible for your own music, then you have an advantage. But I've had a lot of time out of it, and that's done me good. I made the decision to get out in '95, do some acting, did plays and wrote books and stuff. And the main thing in me was having my daughter, because when she came along, that was like, my life changed. So
How old is she?
She's 13.
Yeah.
And life just changed completely, because I was a house dad for 5 years, and, you know, nappies and all that.
Loved it.
And that's the hardest work I've ever done in my life.
Yeah,
So,
you go to work for a break, don't you?
Yeah, that was it. So, but I think in lasting the way, I always look to the people that went before, and there's always people that kind of went before. You look at Springsteen, still getting up. Doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
You just go and see
Yeah,
Springsteen.
totally, yeah.
And I went to see Tony Bennett a month ago.
Amazing.
This guy, you know, I'm sitting, I'm taking notes. Oh, wait a minute.
It's
Just
fantastic.
incredible. That's what I'd like to eventually...
You've got such an amazing image. Is that sort of manifested over the years, you know, dressing to impress? Is it very much part of your music?
It is for me, because I was influenced by people that, you know, T-Rex and Roxy Music and...
Does it make you feel more like you when you're dressed up?
It is. It's a bit like preparation, and when no matter where I am, I can be it can be like 50 people around, or in a club, it can be the most plush place, it can be any major event, but you switch off and it's almost like looking at a chessboard. You know, I put the makeup out, it's all laid out, I get ready, I prepare, you've got to switch off. It's almost a kind of prayer mentality. Yeah. Same for athletes, same for anybody.
Do you know, Adam, it's wonderful to see you back.
Thank you, it's very nice.
And if anybody wants to go and see Adam, remember, it's Adamant and the Good, the Mad and the Lovely Posse UK tour from now until the end of January, more or less,
right up to
next
the end
year.
of the year. Yeah.
Adamant, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.